Are you doing something as Visa to discover entrepreneurial talent or entrepreneurial ideas which will take the visa business maybe globally to a new level, from being in the plastic card business to be in the new business paradigm?
First of all, being a global e-payments technology company, the moment you're equipped with a card, with the means to pay, I would assume you're better off than when you didn't have it. So, I mean, I'm saying at the very outset, simple financial inclusion, bringing you into the financial system, allowing you to have the best means to pay and get paid, that by itself is, is a journey to whether you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to be an academic, is a separate question. There are several verticals globally for Visa. One of them is commercial. And the products there are targeted for small and medium scale enterprises. So it allows you the flexibility and the benefits of, let's say, a credit or a debit instrument, but it's tailor-made for the needs of small and medium scale enterprises. In India, commercial cards per se, it's a nascent market and it's opening up in a big way. And I think the other thing that can change is the way in which payment disbursals happen. So if you're a small subsidy-driven or a small business which is trying to get a greater share of the market, if you are equipped by means to pay, and it need not be a magnetic swipe card, if you're set up on the internet, for example, that's one way of doing it. But if you're asking me whether there's an incubation fund in India which is seeding e-commerce at this stage, no. There are, of course, many global projects which also have an India arm and work is being done with Indian partners. But you can't, there's no Visa India fund as such that you can write to get funded.
How are you using the power of crowdsourcing?
Interestingly, I mean, from a marketer's point of view, I don't think it's as big a phenomenon here as it has been in, let's say, China, for instance. So I think we are all equipped to be crowdsourcers in our DNA. We don't need to manifest that behavior on the internet. So, by nature, I'm going to pay heed to the opinion and the experience of others around me, and that mass as a body of negotiators online or people who are helping me in creating things, that, to my opinion, unless people have seen other things, I have not seen a very large demonstration of that. Things like social media and people exchanging information and getting entertained seems to be a much larger phenomenon to put money behind in terms of getting a viable return, simply because it creates impact. I think crowdsourcing may yet be the next layer. So I think there may be a substantive set of deliverables that need to be delivered via the internet before this phenomenon picks up. Because the market is ripe for it, but I personally don't see very large evidence of.
Do you see any implications for the advertising agencies, advertising professionals, communication professionals in the near term as the crowdsourcing phenomena gets accentuated?
Well, I think I would choose to keep it one step before that. I'm saying by and large, creative application onto the internet and digital campaigns per se, I think are still sort of a smaller subset within the creative pool of resources that an agency has, and increasingly there are probably faster moving, smarter, more niche focused boutiques which they in turn outsource to. So I think an ecosystem is building up where this talent is already available or is pulled in when required. But as person who's writing a check for a campaign, I need to have the comfort that it will be available to us 24/7, because it's not about one episodic 3-month run and then forgetting about it. And the problem with the internet in many